And now, live from the studios of WHUC, this is Real Talk, where we get you something to talk about.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Real Talk. I am your host, Tiara Jackson. Today, we are here with a special guest. Originally from Chicago, Illinois, he is one of the first people to graduate from the radio television department. Joining us today is 1986 alumnus Clyde Coleman, also known as Clever. Let's give him a round of applause. Mr. Coleman, before we get started, where did the nickname Clever come from?
Well, when I came to Utica, I came here from Chicago, as you've indicated. I was on the baseball team. From time to time, there would be friction with the guys from Chicago, Indiana, Detroit, different places, and with other athletes. So versus us having friction, I would kind of get the guys together and I'd try to mitigate it and come to a solution where everybody could be amicable and stop the fighting. Like I used to tell guys, I didn't come down to Mississippi from Chicago in order to fight.
So that's where the nickname Clever comes from.
Yeah.
Very clever. All right, so what made you, coming from Chicago, why did you decide to come here to Utica, Mississippi? And do you remember what it felt like coming down to the Deep South?
My brother came to Utica Junior College prior to me. He was drafted in 1985 by the Cincinnati Reds, #1 draft pick coming out of Utica. So I followed his footsteps and came down to Utica. I have to admit, it wasn't necessarily in my vision and my goal initially to come to college at Utica. But my parents dropped me off here about a month before school opened. Mr. Bell came down and opened the dorms up, so I probably was the first student to move into the dormitories when they put them down there. My first reaction when I found that I was going to have to go to school at Utica, Mississippi, coming from Chicago, shock. I remember opening up the back window and looking outside and seeing a cow pasture. And I was like, what have I done to deserve this? But it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Well, I'm glad because, so what made you decide to join the radio and television department?
Prior to coming down to Utica, I was in Vocational Industrial Clubs of America in high school, and my job was a darkroom media technician. So I was already in the field as far as photography. So the stuff that I was working on, like if you go to a movie theater and you see the big pictures and everything that's in the light boxes, I was one of the guys behind the scenes making all those type of transitions and those type of films and that type of photography. So naturally, it was a natural fit for me to go into media technology.
Okay. And we talked to you before the show, and we were wondering what all led up to your success after leaving this department.
Well, it was this department and Utica Junior College in general. It was my first exposure to an HBCU. The family atmosphere that you had here, the nurturing atmosphere that you received while you were a student here, is what allowed me to be able to matriculate in life. While I was here, I learned the ability to be able to negotiate. The nickname Clever, being able to work with people across multiple levels and be able to de-escalate a situation, right, and also being able to remain calm under certain situations. So when I left Utica, I then received a scholarship to go to Jackson State, where I further advanced and learned and utilized the skills and traits that I learned here at Utica. And the negotiation part and being able to remain calm in adverse situations that I initially learned here at Utica is what probably helped me the most.
That's good. We are going to take a quick break and we will come back right after these messages.
Real Talk will be right back after this.
Are you interested in becoming a fashion designer, buyer, or stylist? Or maybe open your own boutique? Hines Community College Utica campus has the perfect program for you. Join the Clothing and Fashion Design program today. In this program, we train students how to become excellent fashion designers by teaching you the skill set that is necessary to become a wonderful fashion designer. In our classroom, we are equipped with industrial sewing machines and all tools needed to obtain the skills necessary for your career. Join fashion today at the U.
And now, Real Talk continues.
Welcome back. We are here with 1986 alumnus Clyde Coleman. So, Mr. Coleman, I understand that you did an interview with Howard Ballou. What was that experience like?
It was interesting. The former baseball coach here at Utica, George McQuitter, worked with me to get an interview with Mr. Ballou back in 1985. It was interesting. I was extremely nervous, as you can imagine, because he was this larger-than-life personality for a student. But I was appreciative of the fact that he gave me that time to give him an interview and to sow some seeds into my life.
Okay. And so, what all did you take away from being in this department?
Oh, being in this department, it was fun. I never felt like I was in school. I used to go back home to Chicago and tell people, if this is college, this is an education and a vacation. You were doing things that you love. Media technology, at the time, music videos were hot, so we were doing music videos, things of that nature. So it was, every day was just, we look forward to coming up here in the mornings and being able to come into the studio. I mean, we would literally argue with Coach to see who can get in the studio and who could do the music takes, who could do the intros for the radio programs, things of that nature.
And so, what are one of the biggest changes you have seen so far since coming back?
Wow, the studio. I mean, you guys actually have a studio compared to what we were working with. You guys probably don't even know what this is, but we were working with Beta, which was before VHS, which is before DVDs. So to be able to work with Beta and to we were using black and white film in the photography area. So to come into this studio and see the enhancements on campus, the student union, the president facility is now a museum, and just see the progress and the growth. As I was telling Ms. Harris and them today when I pulled on campus, I became emotional just watching the progress of this campus compared to 1986 to where it's at today. Mr. Charles Bell, who was very influential in my life when I was here at Utica. In fact, he kept many of us in school just by mentoring us and motivating us. But to see his name on that street was just like, wow, this is good.
Right. And is there any advice you would like to give to students who are majoring in mass communications?
Continue to be motivated. Continue to find the things that keep you coming back. Always try to do more. Always try to be better. Continuously look at your work. Be your hardest critic. That will help you in life in general.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Coleman. Thank you all for watching another edition of Real Talk. I'm your host, Tiara Jackson. And remember to stay tuned. Thank you.